Hey you guys, I'm back. I figured I'd make this video to explain more about my kids and everything with the epilepsy and the whole testing of autism and how they're doing now. Um, Both of my sons were diagnosed with autism, but my oldest was diagnosed with autism and epilepsy. So my oldest was diagnosed with autism when he was about 3. I mean, 2 turning 3. My youngest, same age, he was 2, he's diagnosed, but his was more severe with autism. We did the genetic testing with Mikey, came back negative, nothing was wrong. We did the lead test, it said negative. Although we did get a thing in the mail about how the machine at Children's Hospital malfunctioned and they didn't know, so they were getting inaccurate readings, and that he had to go back to do a retest for the lead. But I already got the lead test done over at his primary care doctor's place. So there's that. Like I said, my oldest wasn't so severe because they said he only needed help in some areas, and then my youngest needed help in a lot of areas. So, and then with my oldest, when he was diagnosed with epilepsy, this is like every time when that day comes and rolls, I think about that and I start wanting to cry. So that morning, he seemed fine. Like nothing was wrong. He didn't look tired, nothing. He said, "Bye, Mommy, I love you." And Dad said he went to class perfectly fine. Didn't scream, nothing. And then I was getting ready because I had 10 minutes left before I had to go pick him up. And then I get a call from my husband saying, "Hey, we have to head to the hospital. His school just called me, and they said he had a seizure." And I got off the phone with him. I just fell to the floor. You know how you see those movies where like the person gets like the most devastating news, like, hey, your husband died or your kid died, and that's what I did, because I heard seizures could, sometimes kids don't wake up from it. So we headed to the hospital, and his preschool teacher was there. She explained what happened. She said he came back from seeing Mr. Ashley, which is his speech therapist at school, and they said the preschool teacher said that his speech therapist said that he seemed like kind of out of it, and she said that they tried to have him go to the bathroom because he was learning how to potty train, and we put him in underwear, and they said she said she noticed him like just cuddle up with her, and then she saw his eyes roll into the back of his head, and then he peed his pants, and so when she left, they explained that it could be just a one-time thing, and it could just be a one-time seizure. We won't know until something else happens. And so I was like, okay, and then didn't explain to me, I'm sorry, the computer's shaking. They didn't explain to me exactly what to do. So I'm just like, information that I have is basically watching movies, and that's it. I don't know anything. And so a week went by, and he was home because it was early release, so they don't have school Wednesdays. He was playing fine, and then I turned around for like a couple minutes, like maybe for a minute, and then because I was cleaning and I can't remember what the heck I was doing. I remember I turned around, and the next thing I know, he's on the floor jerking, and like I felt so helpless in that time because I had no idea what to do. because all I knew was from movies. Like, no one explained to me what exactly to do, because like a focal seizure is just like his eyes rolling to the back of his head and him sleeping. I never literally didn't know what to do when someone's jerking and what to do. So I called 911. I said my son is having a seizure, and I literally don't. I have a lot, like, so much is going through my head that I don't realize to like time how long the seizure lasts. So they asked me how long has the seizures, or how long his seizure was going. I said for probably about almost a minute. So they rushed and we go back to the hospital, and they basically said he had I can't remember what they said. It was I don't know what the technical term is for it, but it's the one where he's jerking and whatnot. So they gave us diazepam. So just in case he has another seizure, we have that. So then it was fine. Then Thanksgiving comes, and Thanksgiving comes, and the day before Thanksgiving, Mikey was having seizures. And like they weren't stopping, like they just kept continuing after one after another. And they weren't lasting more than 5 minutes, so we couldn't really do anything. So we went to the emergency room, and he or the lady was like, I'm trying to get a hold of the neurologist over at Denver Health, because that's where we go. And see what they want us to do. So, and that time we were waiting, he just, because I was by myself, because my husband had to work, and I had nobody there with me to like tell me everything was gonna be okay. And we kept having seizures in the hospital. He wake up, and then keep continuing having it, and like he would wake up, and then it just started happening again, and then fall back to sleep, because when you have a seizure, you're tired, and then it kept continuing. He kept having it and having it and having it, and that's when they had to give him something so it could stop. And then he had to go to the emergency room at the other hospital that we go to, and be taken care of there, because you don't go to the emergency room that we went to. We don't go to the hospital. I mean, it's close by home. I know. I don't like. Why don't you just go there? So my husband and my son were in the hospital for 3 days, from the day before Thanksgiving, and then the day after Thanksgiving. And we don't have 2 cars, so I had to stay home with Sky, and it sucked because I kept having to hear from my husband that he still kept having seizures even after them giving him like Keppra, and then like upping the Keppra, and then they had to add valproic acid to help with it. And what hurts me the most is like his sister, my husband's sister. We asked her if she would stay at the hospital with Mikey, and the whole entire time all I could think is like, I hope he doesn't have a seizure, because like seeing that is like scary, because like you don't know what to do. I mean, I know they're at the hospital, but it's like when you're like in the moment, you're not really thinking, oh hey, I need to do this and I need to do that. But Dad got back after coming home to pick up clothes, and his sister had her husband and her 2 kids with her, and Kaden, which is her youngest, was in the room, and they both were in the room, and they had to take him out because Mikey was having a seizure on the floor because he was trying to get off the bed to go play and just fell to the floor. Dad picked him up, just kept like saying, "It's okay, just come back to Daddy, it's okay, I know you can do it." And then so he stopped having seizures for a full 24 hours, so he got to go home. And he came home and he was having little, like, just little seizures, like when he was sleeping. Like, it wasn't like full blown seizures, it was just like he'd be sleeping and then he goes like that. And I can't remember what he said they were. So his doctor said he wanted to do a test to see what's causing it. And we had to wake him up by, like, I think 5 o'clock in the morning, so he would be up, and by the time when he had his test, which was like probably almost 11, he'd be tired and want to fall asleep. And so they did that, and they basically made it was like a stress test to see if, I guess, flashing lights or stress or something's causing it, and they all came back. He had to do a sleep test, that's what it was. And they did the flashing lights, and I don't know what else they did, but my husband said that it all came back negative for all that stuff. And to this day, they still have no idea what's causing his seizures. I mean, if it helps, before he had a seizure, or started having seizures, probably 3 weeks before, he hit his head really hard in the back, and he was playing on the playground, and I guess he slipped and fell, and he hit his head on a bar. And they said they tried to put an ice pack on it, but he wasn't allowing them to put it on there. And that's, if he has a concussion, to take him back to the hospital. And it was fine, everything was fine, and he was okay. And then 3 weeks later, he had his first seizure, so I don't know. To this day, I still don't know what's causing it. And then every so often, we have to go in and get a blood test done just to make sure that this medicine's not, to make sure this medicine is not destroying his organs. If we could find a different way to, medicine wise, or to do something besides medicine, I would, in a heartbeat. And I wouldn't even care what anybody said to me. I know there's people out there that have beliefs in one thing or another, and I just honestly don't care. You have an opinion about people giving their kid this, and it's like, you don't even know what half of these medicines do to their kids, and what the effects of, like, the medications other people do use. And yeah. He's been seizure free for about a year. If he goes a couple more months with no seizures, he gets taken off the medication. So, okay, we'll go swimming. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Now that explains everything about my boys and whatnot. If you guys want to know something else, just let me know. I think my next, I wish I could walk around, do vlogs and whatnot, but I don't have a camera to do stuff like that. I mean, until I do, I can start, like, walking around and showing you guys exactly what our day-to-day is. So, but until then, I have to do these sit-down videos and explain to you, like, about our boys, and maybe I could explain about our situation with this apartment complex, and maybe I can't, because then I'll get in trouble. But anyways, yeah, you guys have a good day, night, whenever you guys are watching this, and just know that if that you're not alone. Like there's a lot of people out there that you can talk to. Don't feel like you're doing this alone.